So the Love is Blind reunion just got aired and people cannot stop talking about who's still together, who cheated, and who the biggest red flag is. It started out with Nick Lachey and his wife in the pods pretending that they are cast members on the show.
I mean, if all I heard was that voice, I would definitely want to boink you.
I don't know if I'm into that kind of foreplay. If my husband said, I want to boink you right now, I don't know if it would do anything down there. But you know, if she loves it, I love that for her. Many people were disappointed that the show was an hour and a half and they thought the full hour and a half was going to be juicy questions toward the cast members that we watched for about 10 or 11 episodes. But instead, 40 minutes of that hour and a half was random past Love is Blind cast members acting out cameos.
Hey, Brad, Tiffany.
Hey, Nick.
Some things never change.
And then telling us about their lives after the show.
The credits fixed.
I'm pretty sure that has to be a joke, but I don't know why you bring up your credit score as funny because I only watched season 8. And also, no one in the audience laughed. Hello, welcome back to the channel where I break down internet drama, reality TV show drama, and any drama I see, so that you do not have to waste an hour and a half listening to cast members like Giannina from season 1 talk about her new boyfriend that wasn't even on Love is Blind ever.
Introduce us to your man here.
Yeah, so this is my partner and the father of my baby.
I mean, very cute, happy you guys are doing great, but why are you here? Most people hated the fact that they brought back past members and took up a lot of time. Some liked it, and I have to say those people's opinions go straight in the trash. If you have the same opinion as me, well, congratulations, you're on the right side of history. Here is a bag of hot Cheetos. Celebrate by eating them quietly, please. I don't like chewing noises. I personally didn't come here to hear happy stories of cast members that I never knew of.
We're going to Hawaii tomorrow.
I want the drama. I want to throw red flags. I want to call people buttholes.
Jeremy, aloha.
And look at that. Walking red flag from Florida came walking on in. Jeremy. And the look on his face says, well, I think he knows whatever he says. He is not gonna get exempt. He is not gonna get forgiveness from social media or Laura. And Laura is still pretty pissed off that he rode off into the sunset with Sarah Ann and never wanted to see this heifer again. Oh wait, hold on, Nick Lachey has something to say.
Should we bring her out? Bring her on out.
Yeah, sorry Laura, that's too bad because Sarah Ann is here right now and she's giving us 2008 prom. So after Jeremy and Sarah Ann rode off to the sunset, it was just a love story after that. They got extremely close.
Yeah, we've been dating for almost a year now. We live together, actually.
We live together.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you can see, every single person is extremely happy for them,
Oh, not the kid.
especially this person, and especially Laura.
I think they're both disgusting.
But even after all of this, Jeremy is still sticking very hard to the story that he and Sarah Ann just stayed up until 6 a.m. just talking like little schoolgirls, and he dropped her off at home like a gentleman would. No touching, no kissing, no nothing. He is a pure, gentle sir.
The only time I was ever at Sarah Ann's house is when I went to go drop her off.
But the question was just, why would you leave your location on and then lie about it?
I didn't intentionally lie about that.
Oh, it was an accidental lie. I accidentally lie all the time, so very relatable. Nick then asks any of the guys if they want to back him up on that because they were all there at the time.
Just to hear what you all think.
Got enough on my plate. I'ma just sit here.
They all said no. So Laura will just have to believe him.
Apologize, you're a clown.
Come on, girlie, let's be honest. Most people that leave with someone from a bar and stay up with them until 6 a.m. are doing the Lord's work. Holy thing. And look at this face. Does this face look like a liar to you? And does this look like I never went to prom and have all eyes on me in my 30s and it's now my moment? I'm just saying, if I was a Love is Blind villain, I'm not going to show up looking like 2008 prom girlie. It's offensive. Be the villain. Embrace it. You can't gaslight us into thinking, wow, she has an obscene amount of sparkles on. I'm so blind I can't see how sneaky this chick is.
Shing, sparkle, sparkle.
And now, just like prom, she's fighting over this guy.
Calling someone a clown when you sat and told him shit about me in the pods the entire time, saying that I'm a pick-me girl. You're the pick-me girl.
You're the pick-me.
You're the pick-me girl. Don't actually. You saw me crying. I'm heartbroken.
As I watched the show, I noticed that a lot of the women have been hanging out together, but for some reason, a lot of the men didn't seem very close at all. Everybody seemed like they did not like Jeremy, except for Sarah.
I remember all the other guys, Ken, everybody else picked me up that day, and Jeremy said, at least I can sleep tonight knowing Jimmy's the villain. That was the words you left me with.
Okay.
But I didn't get a super close bond when it came to the men, as like the women were trying to make lasting friendships. The men seem like they really aren't hanging out very much now that the show's over, but honey, the sisterhood is popping for some reason, and all the women seem to hang out together except for Sarah Ann.
I don't talk to any of the women.
That's because she liked to unfollow us and still follow our fiancés at the lake day, which I thought was strange.
They also have a group text, and Sarah Ann's a little salty about it because she got kicked out.
This is like a lot.
You guys iced me out of a group chat.
Nobody
I didn't
was
do it.
mean to you.
Somebody
Nobody was
iced
mean
me
to
out.
you.
You guys iced me out of a group chat.
But nobody
Y'all
was
were
mean
like,
to
I
you.
removed
Because
from
what
the
is there
group
to
chat.
say?
And she's very pissed off that no one emotionally supported her after she didn't get the guy on the show like she thought she would.
Okay, well, and you know what, Jess? You saw me crying after he broke up with me, and I said, I feel gaslighted, and I was heartbroken when I left, and you watched me bawl my eyes out, and you defended him, not me.
You were never a girl's girl.
That's part of the show, Sarah. Someone's gonna get hurt. Someone's not gonna get picked. But look at you now. You got picked. Second.
If you ain't first, you're last.
And it's been a year and you live together. You are the pick-me girl.
I'm a pick-me girl.
The guy picked you. You're the lucky one.
Have seen Jeremy in the subsequent time
Since the show.
since the show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Every time I see him, they're broken up.
Hey, relationships are not all gold cups and free trips to the Bahamas, especially if they started by sneaking around until 6 a.m., then lying to your fiance, and then lying to America. One thing that I really did love about the reunion that I like that they did is that they brought up social media drama. So many women have came out about Jeremy, but one woman's mother came out on social media and said, this boy was engaged to my daughter while he was applying for the show.
So what do you have to say about that claim?
Ooh.
Yeah, I can actually address that one pretty directly.
Oh great, I would love to hear it.
It's not true.
Okay, we're never gonna know. One thing they didn't bring up is another ex who came out with like a 5-part series about her dating Jeremy, how he stalked her, punched walls, and got his pew-pews taken away.
And he's just following me around the house, in and out of different rooms. I'm shutting bedroom doors and he's banging on them trying to get in, and I'm finally like, I'm just gonna leave the house.
I have absolutely no clue if it's true, but even before all of this came out, I said, and many people online, just from his demeanor on the show, it kind of reminds me of someone that if you question him a little too much, he's gonna start flipping tables. After the reunion aired, Jeremy decided to put an apology out on his Instagram saying he's sorry that he looked pretty stupid for the choices he made.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
But then he wanted to reiterate that he definitely did not do anything sexual with Sarah that night at all,
I want to be very clear. Nobody cheated that night.
with an even longer explanation.
So when I get there, I meet up with all the guys.
Everything was fine. Sarah did approach me at one point. She does fill me in on something else, though. The really late conversation that happened, because I was not comfortable with a lot of what was about to happen. Sarah had already been a point of contention in my relationship with Laura and everything else. I knew, like I said, I knew I was going to catch hell for it, but I didn't fully look at the whole scope. Very poor execution. Extremely poor execution. I did it to try to move past things. What I should have done, had a lot of time to think about this. For the last time, I want to be very clear. We did hang back, and we went through all of the scenarios that were going to happen with it. It is what it is, and unfortunately, it happened. So this never happened at her, apartment. This did happen.
Excuse me.
He even told us that he knew that if he stayed up with Sarah trying to hash it out and make sure that she's okay, that she got dumped on Love is Blind, that he was going to catch flack.
I even openly acknowledged, like, I know I'm going to catch so much hell for this when I get back to the house. Like, I knew that.
But he still had to do it because he's just a nice guy and wanted to make sure that she's okay.
I asked her, hey, how far away do you live? I'm not going to leave you in the parking lot. I'll drop you off, whatever.
Many people in his comments brought up the idea that if he just wanted to prove about him not getting very sexual with Sarah Ann that night, he stayed out with her at 6 a.m. from the bar, then why don't you post your heart rate at that time on your Apple Watch that you always have on your arm?
I actually looked it up today because I found what date that was. My Apple Watch had actually died.
Of course it did. I'm just gonna drop that right there. And one more. He then says he has no interest in talking about this anymore and definitely does not want to get talked to by the media.
And the reason I'm talking about all of this on Instagram and not with media outlets or anything like that is I'm not going to be doing media. I don't want to talk to any media people about this.
Is it because they'll ask you questions like they're doing on the show and it makes you uncomfortable? Like how you look on the show right now? And then you're going to look dumb like Travis did. Speaking of Travis. When you wish upon a star. Right when the show aired, Trevor became the lovable, buff, but sensitive nerd that was just trying to find love and wanted women to stop fucking him for his body and fucking him for his brain. Don't judge a book by its cover though. Well, it's your lucky day, Trevor. We'll be judging you for your personality and we won't be taking your abs into consideration, like his TikTok says. Speaking of his TikTok, let me take you down Trevor's TikTok trail, because this man was the Disney Prince, or Wreck-It Ralph of the show.
I actually used to be bounced at a bar and like all the girl bartenders would...
I want him to spit in my mouth and disrespect me. Innocent me not prepared for how vulgar the Love is Blind cast reveal comments would be. I accept who I am, the nice guy. And then of course comes the post after the episodes where Chelsea dumps him and goes with Jimmy. Point of view, me sitting in the pause after asking Chelsea to leave, and she said no. And now he's Margaret Robbie as Barbie crying in this cute little outfit. Women, I want a strong, sensitive, emotional, intelligent guy when they find one. And then they say no. I don't actually really want that, you know, like Chelsea. How dare she not want the nice guy? And we know he's a nice guy because he posted it on TikTok. Well, social media did what social media does. And Trevor, who was the fan favorite, quickly turned into the Love is Blind villain. Because, yep, you guessed it, an ex-girlfriend came out and exposed everything. And she had text messages.
I'm gonna be judged for supporting him through that. But I think when you're in love with somebody, you want to support what they want.
And people on social media, people on the show, and even the judges were pissed.
We've got to call you out for it.
So the ex actually exposed Travis for going on the show while they were still in a relationship.
You know, we're talking about getting married and building life together.
Somehow, according to her, allegedly, he convinced her that he's just going on this show for exposure.
I trusted him. I loved him. He told me that he wanted to marry me and that this was for us.
He kind of watched the show, looked at past cast members, and then saw how well they were doing on social media and just in their lives in general. Business-wise, social media, money. According to the ex, he started studying the show, seeing how people acted, what he had to do to get on the show.
And I think at that point, he started to do his homework, watching all the other seasons.
And somehow this chick decided to say yes, it's fine. And he told her he's just gonna go on the show and don't worry, baby, I'm going to go boink those girls and then I'll come back and
boink you.
And I'll definitely marry you after that as well. And she said, okay, cause some of these women, my God. And she said, okay, I'll wait for you. And it just didn't work out. And she has text messages and they decided to read it on the show. I loved every moment of it.
Thank you so much, honey. I'm excited for it, but more excited to get back to you after and start our life together.
She responded with, did you land?
Trevor responded, just did. Then, skipping to when you left the pods, you again wrote, do you still love me?
She says, pumpkin? I'm crying.
Trevor then says, can I call you in 30 minutes?
She said, I missed you so much.
Trevor wrote, I love you more than anything in this world, and I'm going to marry you.
She says, yes, call me, I can't wait.
Trevor says, I hope you know how much I love you, and had to pretend that this wasn't real life to say anything I said.
She responds with, it's okay, pumpkin.
Boy, I would really love to hear your explanation for this one.
Guess I'll start by saying that I was not dating her.
Trevor, I gotta ask you don't say I love you to someone you don't care about.
I know he's an idiot, but Nick, that's all they do on your show. That's what your whole show is about. Why are you acting like that's the biggest deal?
It's not fair to the audience.
It didn't hurt me at all. Actually, I really appreciate the drama, Trevor. Have I been calling him Travis this whole time or Trevor? I have no idea. Oh my God, it's gonna be interesting when I go back and watch this. Anyway, that's what the whole show is about, Nick. Don't act like it's not normal on your show for these people to just throw around the word I love you. This man studied the show and he replicated exactly what they do on the show, and he was doing it in real life too.
And most importantly, it's not fair to the people right here.
You mean to the people who said I love you within 3 days of not even touching the person, seeing the person, smelling the person, and most of them who aren't even with the individual they said I love you to? Is that who it's not fair to? Why didn't your butt cheeks run on in and yell, no you don't, when the whole cast was saying I love you in the pods? I would have loved that. People say I love you all the time on your show, in real life, and not mean it at all. It's actually very common. I agree that he was shitty, stupid, and a butthole. And the chick exposing it all was a little weird because she looks just as bad because she said yeah, go on the show and play some of these women and then come on home to me and we can all rake in the money. But to act like he's the only one making a mockery out of love and marriage and I love yous is hilarious from a man whose whole show makes a mockery out of love and marriage and I love you. Calm down. Actually, there's a man that was engaged who told his wife he wants to go on the show for exposure. He's married to that woman right now and even made a whole TED Talk on the process to use this show to his advantage.
On the one hand, it made me incredibly nervous to think about the idea of proposing to a stranger on live television. On the other hand, it was a rare opportunity to have a unique experience, make new friends, and get a little bit famous. So my curiosity eventually got the better of me, and I decided to do it. The first plot twist of my story came in the 4 months between casting and filming, when I met the love of my life, Kate. Is an incredible human being who shares my love for novelty and new experience. And so she agreed to let me do the show, as long as I didn't end up married to anyone. And so it sounded simple enough to me. It was an acting job for a background character role that paid minimum wage with free drinks.
You really think the majority of the people, Nick, who are going on this show are doing it for your experiments and love? Do you think that I believe you're doing it because you want people to find pure, true love, Nick? Or are you mostly doing it for the paycheck? So I know some of you guys are saying, well, it's just her words. The text messages are edited. Travis denies nothing. He says that he needs therapy, actually.
I don't fucking know. I'm toxic as well. I admit that. Like, I need a lot of like therapy.
And then he says, I really want to go home.
Can I like just leave right now?
Go ahead.
And just like that, Travis is gone. I have to say that after this aired, a lot of people were like, that guy's an idiot. But there was a big group of people, mostly women, saying, I feel so bad for him. Let me see if I can find some of the posts. Did anyone else feel extremely uncomfortable at how they were treating Trevor on the show? Regardless of what he's done, he seemed extremely uncomfortable and wanted to leave. Well, duh. He got caught.
Stage, we'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Of course he's uncomfortable. You think he's going to look thrilled that they're showing him the proof? Anyone who gets caught doing something is going to be very uncomfortable. That's how shame works.
Where am I? All rise. Shame court is now in session.
I believe Trevor came into the experiment with good intentions. I feel like he kept the other girl in his back pocket as a just in case. He is a lover boy who didn't want to be alone. That's why when he left the pod, he told the girl he would marry her. Trevor's not a bad guy. I believe he was a guy trying to find true love. And some people are saying, well, he's obviously on the spectrum and he's got like mental problems. That's why he acted the way he acted. I'm sorry. Is that the whole cast problem then? Why are y'all giving this man excuses? He admitted to it. Remember the whole therapy thing? So we can just use mental health now to manipulate people? Huh. I didn't know, like that's a new one for me. Okay. Anyway, they come back and say, since I've learned Trevor threatened to release explicit images of him and his girlfriend being intimate after she posted the text messages, now I'm not feeling so bad anymore. Some of you women, like anyone who felt bad for him, like I understand feeling bad, but just know you're the types of people that these types of people go for. Trevor thought he was so immune. You notice Matthew never showed up. The man that was saying the same thing to every single woman, the man that also said that it was because of editing, he never showed up. Why? Because he knew he was gonna be looking dumb as hell, just like Trevor. Or Travis, I can't remember his name now. We can call him red flag number 2. Red flag number 3, Matthew didn't show up because he knew that they were gonna read him to filth on air. I love that they made him extremely uncomfortable. That's what you get. People assuming I'll be the villain on Love is Blind because I look like a villain. No, you're the villain because you just are one. Here, take that. I was expecting marriage to come up. You promised that other girl marriage. You could have been there by now. Even TikTok knows that you should not get married. I do have to say though, as much as I love that they grilled the two biggest red flags on the show, I don't think they questioned the women enough, and we'll get to there in a second. So AD and Clay are no longer together, and he explains as AD rolls her eyes, he's struggling because he has a lot of emotions as the show came out. He watched her lead her on for the whole season, and then of course all the way down the aisle just to smile in her face and say, oh yeah, never mind, I don't want to do this.
Kind of battle with like the morality of like, am I a good person, am I a bad person?
But what he does know is he would definitely and love to be in a relationship with AD again.
I apologize, I love you, you are the love of my life, and it was a mistake.
Oops. There's two. According to Clay, it's very hard from going to this rock star lifestyle to a humble one-woman man.
Experience, especially as a guy like me, I was an athlete, just to how to transition from going from a little bit of a rock star life to now you're just with one person. There's really nobody that explains it, talks about it.
Who needs to explain to you that when you're in a relationship, you don't flop your penis into another woman's vagina? And what kills me is that Clay is a religious man. I saw you pray on the show. So open your goddamn Bible, because I'm pretty sure God explained it to you in there. Don't act like a monogamous relationship is some 4,000 piece puzzle that you have to put together. It's actually not that hard, and if it is hard for you, don't go on a show called Love is Blind, or in a relationship at all. Much like the other two, many girlfriends are coming out about Clay, but I don't really feel like going into all of that. This man just reeks of red flags. If he was a super villain, they would just pop out of his skin, and then for some reason girls would still date him. Ladies, there's red flags all over the place. Thank the Lord that AD found the red flags, okay? That was all around him this whole time and throughout the whole season, and said absolutely not, sir.
It was a hard no for me dating Clay after the no at the altar because you had your chance.
Thank God, because I will be damned if this man smiles at this woman walking down the aisle again and then says, actually, never mind, again.
Low key, respectfully, you played in my fucking face.
Now, AD actually revealed that she met up with Matthew, while Clay looked like he was about to have a panic attack on the couch.
And I was like, you know, Matthew kind of cute. Like, low key, he's cute, y'all. Like, respectfully.
Why is he sitting so straight? He looks so uncomfortable with this conversation.
This pleases me.
So their thing didn't work out. He just wanted to apologize to AD for playing her and saying the same thing to other women in the pod, which they showed more footage of him saying the same thing to more women in the pod. Once again, we now see why Matthew didn't show up, because I just don't think they made him say the same thing to every single woman through editing. And I'm still waiting on the video where he said he's going to expose Netflix for making him look like the villain through editing. It's a little quiet coming from his side. Anyway, Jimmy and Chelsea are not together. Jess is also not friends with Jimmy, and she decided to not be his number one because she said that he's been lying on the internet in some interviews.
You said that I hammered you about wanting to continue to explore your connections, which wasn't true. It's seen multiple times. I'm telling you, when and if you choose me, I want you to be sure of it. So please explore and do whatever you need to do. And then you also said that 10 minutes into one of our last dates that I just stormed out, which also wasn't true.
Jimmy is taking a similar stance as Matthew and said the camera made her look really good and made him look like the villain because he's like a man type thing, and they made the women look really good, and Jess said absolutely not, sir.
It wasn't. No one did me any favors. And I've been the first to say, when I had that wine night with Laura, that wasn't my best moment. If I was getting a good edit, you think they would have shown that?
So I don't know about the editing thing, but like I said earlier, I have to agree that they didn't really grill on the show the women as hard as they did the men. Everybody gave Sarah Ann a hard time and called her a pick-me, and I understand Jess is very beautiful, she's very cute, and she seems extremely sweet. She's one of my favorite characters. But she also sat down with Jimmy when Jimmy is engaged to Chelsea and said, you gave me a hug, and I was like, damn, oh my God. Like, that was interesting. She did say that it wasn't her best moment and she feels horrible about that. But Travis also said sorry and said that he feels horrible and that he needs to go to therapy, and then he ran off the stage. And then Chelsea, they yelled at Trevor, or Travis. Why don't I remember his name? But Chelsea's butt cheeks destroyed the whole experiment and said she looked like Megan Fox. She didn't get yelled at. Anyway, Kenneth and Laura, they really didn't speak very much to, I think because they didn't really have the best storyline. It was very boring, but they aren't together, but they are best friends. They have a really, really nice relationship.
I think that although we are no longer in a relationship together,
the bond that we have is gonna last for an eternity.
And the couple that got married kind of sat there the whole time looking at this dumpster fire of people who are fighting about whatever they're fighting about. But in their life, they're having a great time. They're going on family vacations. Their families get along great. They're taking these pictures like this.
The things I do for her.
They're doing kitchen videos.
So today on Johnny's Kitchen, we're gonna be making some...
They're having a way better time than Jeremy, Jimmy, Travis, and Clay. And Sarah Ann. And then one of the past contestants had to reveal their big announcement.
Izzy, do you want to tell them?
And I know it's probably gonna be another baby reveal like everyone else did.
I think you should tell them.
Well, one of these people I don't know, please tell me the information. I'm at the edge of my seat.
So Izzy and I are actually going to be on the next season of Perfect Match.
Kind of would rather have had a baby reveal, to be honest. You're just here to tell us you're gonna be on another reality television show that Nick Lachey is hosting.
Joining me on the next season of Perfect Match coming this summer along with Jessica.
Yes, pretty much. They're promoting their next show.
I'm ready to stir some things up.
This is like Hunger Games for dating.
And you know what? You know, from the looks of it, it seems like some mentally stable people who are very ready to find a meaningful monogamous relationship. Well, those were the most important parts of Love is Blind Reunion, plus the TikTok series. Shall we watch Perfect Match? I mean, the contestants definitely seem a lot hornier than the Love is Blind contestants, so I'm pretty sure that they will find their perfect match. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. I have to go on a reality show and decide, is that cake or not? But I really don't care. I just want to eat the cake. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
I would definitely want to boink you.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none.